The fuck are you talking about? Hello everyone, my name is Hugo and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a different kind of video. I'm going to read one and maybe also 2-star reviews of 3 of my favorite books. I'll mention it right away. The books are The Martian by Andy Weir, The Shining by Stephen King, and Winnie the Pooh by A. Milne. So I will be looking at 1 and 2-star reviews of those and I'll be reacting to them. This is by no means an original idea. You've seen them probably around all of BookTube, but I've never done one, so I thought I might give it a shot. So I gave all these 3 books 5 stars. Obviously they're 3 of my favorite books of all time, and I don't understand how you would be able to dislike them. I understand, I can tell with The Shining, although not 1 star. So we'll see how it goes. I have my PC here. I'm gonna put on my glasses. A 1-star review. Thank God that's over. Oh God. Everyone has been talking about The Martian, and I literally mean everyone. This is written in 2014, by the way. Since the moment I saw the cover and the raving reviews, I knew I had to pick it up. There's a reason people are talking about this book. Exactly. And there's good reason too. I just don't fucking get it. Oh boy. I think I'm the only person on Goodreads to give this pile a 1-star rating. I'm okay with that. This is a classic case of it's not you, it's me. Well, I'm glad you're self-aware, although you're not the only one. There are like 8,000 1-star reviews, so. I wanted desperately to fit in with the Goodreads community. See, that's a mistake right there. Never try to fit in with the Goodreads community. Make up your own mind is what I would say. I love the shit out of this book and start farting rainbows every time I saw the title. Unfortunately, I was not blessed with a science brain and this book went far over my head. Fair enough. My brains were floating in outer space, waiting patiently to be brought back down. I think they're still out there somewhere because I can't for the life of me understand why people find this book so awe-inspiring. Because it makes you dream and it feels so possible to be on Mars while we are not. So it's like, that's why it's like, oh my God, it feels so real while it isn't. That's why it's so awe-inspiring, as you would write it here. Anyway, you're not watching this video. I love the concept. Mark Watney gets left in space by accident. His crewmates think he's dead and they take off for home. But Mark is not dead. He's very much alive and he knows his shit. Boy, does he know his shit. He knows it so well, he can't wait to tell you about it in lengthy detail. He goes on and on and on. And then she writes that for like 2 lines. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot you were reading. Yeah, it's science fiction, not science fiction. It's science fiction. That's the genre. When it comes to sci-fi, I need it to be just enough detail to get me by. There's a fine line that needs to be walked between vague and in-depth. Anywhere was in so much depth, I think he might be in the wrong career altogether. In fact, Andy, if you're reading this, why don't you go apply for NASA? Clearly your brains are far superior than my own. Just for the love of God, don't write another book. Well, person that wrote this review, he certainly does not... Oh, for fuck's sake, no construction works, please. I hope you don't hear that. I'm sorry if you do. Well, as I was saying, you say, for the love of God, don't write another book, first of all, and you say, like, he's in the wrong career. Obviously he's not. It's a multi-million bestseller and it has over 800,000 ratings on Goodreads alone and a 4.4 on average. So I wouldn't say find another career, Andy. It's a great book, obviously, so it's okay that you don't like it, but don't write another book. Well, he wrote 2 others and the second one isn't as good, they say, but the third one is better than The Martian, some say. So I think he's in the right career here. Okay, that's rude, I'll admit it. Well, I'm glad you're self-aware. Next time you write a book though, I will politely pass it up and save myself the time and effort altogether. Fair enough. I listened to this book on audio and the narrator did a great job telling a boring story. I agree with the narrator doing a great job, but it's not a boring story, obviously. I kept waiting for something awesome to happen. What exactly, you asked? Well, I don't know. But with a name like The Martian, I guess I was kind of hoping our MC, what's that, would discover life on Mars. He's the Martian! Or he would maybe figure out a way to live on Mars permanently, becoming the Martian himself. He is the Martian! He fucking survived on Mars on his own. He was the only inhabitant of the planet. He lived on Mars for over a year and a half. He is the Martian. He was the only living being on that planet. You can't just figure out a way on your own to live on Mars permanently. No such luck. Well, yeah, of course not. Just boring tales of growing potatoes and drinking urine while listening to disco music. They're not boring. Oh my god. Discover life on Mars, or he would maybe figure out a way to live on Mars permanently, becoming the Martian himself. He was the Martian. That was the point. Anyway. It takes quite a bit for me to give a 1-star rating. Oh, does it? I read because I love books. I almost always find redeemable qualities in a book, but I was counting down until this one was over. If you don't like a book, DNF it, Jesus Christ. Martian gets 1 star for the concept behind the story. That's it. 1 star is the lowest you can give something. For all of you science lovers, I'm glad you enjoyed it. This book was just not for me. Fair enough. Another one, written in 2014. 1 star. How can I say this to you? This is one of the most boring books I've ever had the displeasure of reading. I was really looking forward to reading this book. Everyone was so enthusiastic about it. I was saving it for myself as a little treat. By page 27, I knew I was in trouble. Here's the book. Log entry. I'm fucked. Oh wait, I have an idea. Science, science. Then if I science. Great. Insert lame joke here. Now imagine this repeating 1,000 times. Yeah, doesn't it sound fucking great? Watney's stranded on Mars. There's no one there for him to interact with. Also, he's apparently a person with no human feelings. Seriously, there's no doubt, worry, fear, anger or despair, even though he's stranded on a desolate wasteland and his death is imminent. There is clearly fear. He thinks about it, but he keeps himself going. Once you give into that thought, like I am going to die, you give up. That was the point. He never gave up. He's an optimist. He even says that in the book. I'm an optimist. That's the way he thinks. Weir doesn't even make an attempt to channel human emotions at any point in the novel. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Small spoiler alert. No, fuck. I don't want to spoil. Anyway, sorry. But there are plenty of moments like that. I don't know whether this is because he's a terrible author, really, struggles with lack of feeling himself, or what I most suspect, that this is an extremely intelligent man's daydream about how someone would survive on Mars and not a novel. What? What? Let me read that again. I don't know whether this is because he's a terrible author. She literally says he is a terrible author. It's okay if you don't like a book, but if it's like well received all across the board and it's like well written, clearly the person is not a terrible author. Struggles with lack of feeling himself. I don't think you should make an assumption about that. You obviously do not know anything about the man, and neither do I. Or what I most suspect, that this is an extremely intelligent man's daydream about how someone could survive on Mars. That's exactly what it is. And not a novel. It's still a novel. It's fiction. He wrote a story about it. You have a novel. Anyway. The book is like a science textbook with random lame jokes sprinkled on top. No. More as if someone had asked Weir to write a thesis on how to survive on Mars and yet allowed him to throw in as many fucks and lame jokes as he wanted. First of all, I loved the lame jokes, let that be said. Whichever it is, it wasn't what I would consider a novel. It's still a novel. You might not enjoy it, but it's still a novel. Then you have Earth. What is going on there? We have multiple people on Earth. We do have multiple people on Earth. Perhaps these people will provide us with the dialogue and human emotion I'm craving. No, this is how Earth goes. Person A, science. Person B, Well, my theory is science, science. Person C, we'll have to do science, science, science. Person A, fuck you. Person B and C, working for the government sucks, ha ha ha. Of course they have to do science. They're trying to pick up a man that's on another planet. Human emotion doesn't need to be involved here. You need to science the fuck out of this, like Watney says in the book. Jesus Christ. That's it. That's the riveting emotion you get here. Not even a semblance of any human relationships or interaction that aren't based on scientific discussions. That's absolutely not true at all. There are plenty of moments, especially with the crew too, that leaves the crew that leaves Watney behind. If you never read the book, there's plenty of emotion there too. I was attached to and cared about exactly 0 people in this book, really. I didn't care if Watney lived or died, really. I didn't care if the people on Earth discovered he was alive or not. I didn't care. Nothing we wrote made me feel anything for anyone in this novel. Jesus Christ. I'm willing to bet that Weir is a very intelligent man and a great software engineer, but he's not a great author. Yes, he is. This book was horrible. No, it wasn't. I could have easily and happily DNF'd at any point in this book. Fucking do it then. The only reason I made myself finish it was so that I could write this review and express my opinion as someone who had read the whole thing. So you literally... The reason you decided to finish the book was because you wanted to shit on it. Fair enough. TL, I don't know what that means. DR, I don't know what that means. Doctor in my language, but... boring, bloodless, and completely devoid of any humanity. Not true. A textbook with some jokes scattered here and there. I can completely understand why my engineering friends IRL are going ape shit for this book. However, it holds no appeal at all for me. If it holds no appeal at all for you, fair enough. But that doesn't mean it's boring for everyone. It means it's boring for you. And completely devoid of any humanity? Absolutely not true at all. Literally the whole planet Earth scattered together and united to get this one man, one human being off of another planet. The whole world was working together. If that isn't admirable and something you can try for to accomplish with humanity, which will probably never happen, I don't know what is then, but anyway, it's probably me then. The movie, even if it sucks, will most likely be 10 times better than this. There's no possible way it could be worse. What the fuck does that even mean? The movie, even if it sucks, will most likely be 10 times better than this. What the fuck? The movie is great, by the way. There's no possible way it could be worse. Famous last words, Carmen. Lol, we'll see. Okay. Okay. I disagree with a lot of what you said. Justin, we got a mail review here. Well, here goes nothing. 1 star. This is not a good book. Yes, it is. You don't think it's a good book. There's a really big difference between that, people. I tried. I really tried. I wanted to love it at first. Then I wanted to at least like it. Then I wanted to at least have something good to say about it, since everyone loves it and it's everywhere right now. Maybe it's just the hype, I thought. Maybe things pick up and the story gets better, I hope. Maybe the book just sucks, I ultimately decided. Maybe... Oh, Jesus Christ, this is a long review. Maybe my expectations were off. I guess when I read about how an astronaut was stranded on Mars, I didn't expect to feel like he was actually on vacation somewhere. Mark's sarcasm and sense of humor about the situation added some comic relief in the beginning, but it never ended. I'll just keep reading. He never seemed to be afraid, and he always had a witty one-liner to end his log entry or other communication. Humor is a way to deal with stress. It's a coping mechanism. That's how a lot of people who try to push their emotions down to be able to function deal with stressful situations. It's making jokes. It's being humorous. It's, oh my god. It's trying to keep the mood light and not go all pessimistic and then just give up and die. Calm down, Hugo, calm down. It never ended. Stuff about gay space probe, space, pirates, disco, etc. just kept coming. I felt like Mark with a C. Jesus Christ, did you even read the book? I felt like Mark was on vacation with a perfect plan for everything he needed to do when things started to go wrong. Even when his plan didn't work, he had another plan. He's in space. He is trapped all by himself on Mars. He's in space. He's trapped all... Sorry, he used capital letters and I lost my train of thought. He's in space. He's trapped all by himself on Mars. I wanted to care, but I couldn't stand him. Mark Watney is one of the most likable characters ever. How can you not stand him? Jesus Christ. And he didn't seem to care either. Yeah, he did. Why do you think he did so much effort to just get off Mars? Do you know how hard he worked to get off of there? Obviously he cared. Jesus. The only thing that kept me reading was the stuff from Earth. But all of those characters had almost zero development. The dialogue was choppy and uninspired. Even when there was supposed to be some type of emotion or desperation expressed, I didn't feel it. You could also take out 95% of the log entries from Mark and still follow the story. No! The story is told through the log entries. Mark does this, then he does this, next he does that. Finally, his plan works and he watches TV. Then he does this, he calculates that, he waits, he moves rocks. He does some other stuff, it just never ends. It also adds nothing to the story, just to the length of the book. What the fuck are you talking about? He tells the story through a first-person perspective, through a log entry. That's how he wrote the book. It's a way of writing. It adds to the story. It was the whole story. Anyway, I was either bored or annoyed most of the time. The author is obviously a space nerd, not a writer. Can't you be both? I'm a space nerd and I would love to one day finish a full novel. Why can't you be both? A lot of science fiction novelists or authors are space nerds, right? Aren't they? They are not writers apparently. I gave it my best shot, but this one is awarded the prize of first 1-star rating of 2015. Congratulations.
Your file's not only detailed, it's extremely entertaining.
You're allowed to have your own opinion, but Jesus Christ. I was either bored or annoyed most of the time. Fair enough. The author is obviously a space nerd, not a writer. This is a shorter review. It's from the picture someone older. 1-star review. Are there adults in this world with no perceptible inner life and the apparent personality of a 10-year-old boy? Yes, of course. Do I want to read their diary? No. Wait, what? Are there adults in this world with no perceptible inner life and the apparent personality of a 10-year-old boy? Yes, of course there are. Do I want to read their diary? No, then don't read it. Not even if they are trapped on Mars in a life and death situation? Nope, not even then. Then don't fucking read it! This has to be one of the most boring books I have ever given up on. The 1-star is for the idea, which is a good one, but a complete lack of character development and the replacement of scenes with a technical manual for how to survive on Mars made it unreadable, for me at least. Well, yeah, for you at least. I get the feeling you didn't finish this book though, so I shouldn't take this one too seriously. Oh my god, let's do one more then. I know I said one more before. But here, 1-star review. This is the last one I'll do. I'm not judging this book so much as I'm judging all the good people of Goodreads I otherwise respected until I saw of their reviews of this book. Uh-oh, let's go. I'm kidding, mostly. Okay, I'm curious now. Oh, this is a long review, guys. Bear with me. I might cut this part, but we'll see. I'm not unlike a lot of people who wanted to read this book before the movie came out. To be fair, I wanted to read this book last year before I knew a movie was being made of it. But I didn't get a copy for Christmas. And then the movie talk happened and apparently not enough copies were published because there hasn't been a copy available at any of the library branches in Pittsburgh for months now. Might because of your library. I finally cancelled my request in line for the book because I thought I had another month to go before the movie hit theaters. Then they were all like, just kidding jerks, the movie comes out next weekend. I don't know about the timetable of the movie. Or well, that was pretty much when I discovered it was coming out so soon instead of at the end of November as previously publicized. Well, you might have not being up to date about it then. I don't think a huge movie like The Martian is like, well, we're gonna launch this week, and I think you will know in advance. Anyway, so I got a real copy of the book from a real store and everything. Well, great. And settled in. Read a few pages and then a few more, put it down, came back to it, read a few more, put it down, picked it up, shook it, read a few more pages. My copy must be broken, guys, because it's not that good of a book. I've read some complaints about all the math and science in the book. I thought it was the best part. And believe me, that should by all rights be my biggest complaint, since I hate pretty much everything math and science that uses math that exists in the world. Why would you read a book like this if you don't like math and science? Oh my god, if you do some kind of research about a book without even looking into the plot, you would know that this is a science-based fiction book. This is focused on the science. Why would you read it if you hate science? But I have to say, I give no shits about the math and science here. Well, yeah, why would you say, but I have to say, I give no shits about the math and science. You say you hate math and science. Of course you don't. It was fine, question mark. I'm not going to be all about what is or is not accurate because lol, whatever that is, L-A-W-L, I wouldn't know accurate in this case if it bit me in the ass. Well, yeah, if you don't like science, you're not gonna know. I don't even know like half of the science, but he explains it in a way that it's accessible. Jesus Christ. Anyway, the story is also fine. I think it sounds interesting. Can these people stop fucking working on houses? Jesus Christ, I'm trying to do a video here. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. The story is also fine. I think it sounds interesting. I'm down with reading about a space mission gone bad and a subsequent mission to save someone. That sounds great. You know that movie, Apollo 13? I can watch the shit out of that movie. The movie is really well done, even if Ron Howard depends way too much on sentimentalism. I'm gonna remember that one, that there's too much time spent on sentimentalism in the movie, Apollo 13. But guys, the writing itself is really bad, really. I didn't care about a single character in this story, not even Mark Watney. There was nothing about him that made me want him to survive. Oh, he's so optimistic, he's so funny, God, I hope he lives. Nope, that wasn't me. I don't believe optimism and humor is reason enough for someone to survive. Watney is what I think the author wants himself to be. Good looking, I mean, I guess even though there's no mention whatsoever of any physical attributes that Watney might possess. So I'm going only with the fact that Matt Damon is playing Watney in a movie and think Damon is swoony, right? Super intelligent and resourceful and so fucking funny. My brain stopped working for a minute. What? Watney is what I think the author wants himself to be. Good looking. Even though there's no mention whatsoever of any physical attributes that Watney might possess. Exactly. He didn't write a good-looking man. They just cast Matt Damon as it, and he happens to be good-looking. But that wasn't also. He wasn't a good-looking guy in the movie either. So I'm going only with the fact that Matt Damon is playing Watney in the movie. Matt Damon is a great actor. It has nothing to do with the looks. Matt Damon is one of my favorite actors. He's great, and so fucking funny. He didn't, oh, fuck's sake, Weir didn't write a good-looking astronaut. He wrote a super intelligent astronaut and resourceful and so fucking funny. You know what? A lot of people found this book funny, myself included. So if a person writes a funny character, he comes up with the jokes, right? If a person writes an intelligent character who comes up with smart shit, even though the author has to do research about it, the author is intelligent too, right? Because he can write about it and understand that it's correct what he's writing, right? So, good looks aside, even though Andy Weir is by all means not bad looking, in my opinion at least, like he's alright, he still is super intelligent, resourceful, and so fucking funny. So I don't know what you're on about. Anyway, sorry. The humor itself is the humor of a 15-year-old boy. I sometimes think like a 15-year-old boy as far as what I find funny, so I could appreciate some of the jokes, but in this story they didn't work. They work when my friend says something really serious and one of us says, "That's what she said." And then we go on with our lives. Great. A whole book like that? Boring. And yes, there's at least one TWSS in the book. That's not an exaggeration. What is a TWSS? TWSS. A chat term and an abbreviation for "that's what she said." Oh. You just said you think it's funny. You made the jokes yourself, and when he does it, it's not funny? Okay. Everyone told me I would have to suspend disbelief when reading this book, and that's very true. Again, I had no problem with the story itself, but some of the communications between Watney and the peeps back on Earth, come on. You cannot tell me these are conversations people have when they're stuck on Mars. It's thundering. When they're stuck on Mars, or we're trying to bring people back to Earth, or whatever. You have got to be kidding me. All this being said, I still want to see the movie because I have appreciation for Matt Damon and also Ridley Scott. I hope between the two of them they can improve on this and give the story some actual humanity and remove the 15-year-old humor that seems to come with every page. And also remove the majority of exclamation points, because seriously, the exclamation points are instead of saying "Eureka" because he solved something. I understand that Weir wrote this story as a serial on his blog and some other people start reading it and contributing pieces to the story, and then boom, it gets published, and then boom, boom, it gets made into a movie. We all want this to happen in our lives, so kudos to Weir for living the American dream. What the fuck? American dream. I just wish it had happened to a story that had better writing. Then there's a spoiler too, but it's funny that you bring up American Dream, because obviously when another country, a person from another country tries to be a writer, goes for it, gets picked up, published, and gets made into a big movie, that's not a dream someone from outside of America can possess, right? Oh my god, these reviews are fucking funny. I've been recording for half an hour and I'm only on the first book. Let me move on to the next one, The Shining.
Hello, Dex.
Take a seat, I'll be right with you.